And good morning. It's a rather foggy start to the day. That should tend to lift up. And there may be a few bright spells, but then we're also looking at a couple of showers developing later on.
Should we get the weather? Simon's here.
Not sure, shall we?
You sound really disappointed already.
I don't know. I just cheer us all up, Simon. Tell us it's going to be a nice sunny week.
Well, there will be some sunshine, but this morning, I have to say, it is really quite foggy out there this morning. That's the scene at the moment in Norfolk. Yeah, some really poor visibilities if you're about to set out for your morning commute. Yeah, the week ahead is looking rather changeable, actually. We're going to see some sunny spells through today and tomorrow, turning quite wet and quite windy by midweek. And then it will turn a bit colder as well, just for a time as we go into Friday. But much of the rain this week will be concentrated towards western areas. So western areas of Scotland in particular, seeing some quite heavy rain at times through the week, parts of the Lake District as well. Further east, yes, there will be some rain, but not quite as much here. It will be a little bit drier compared to the west. But this morning, it's all about the fog. Really quite poor visibilities out there this morning. Do take care if you're about to set off. This is in Norfolk at the moment.
Getting a bit better then?
Yeah, just slightly.
Simon, thank you. Just slightly.
Just slightly. Slightly is
Nothing
good.
dramatic.
We'll take slightly.
And good morning. It's a rather foggy start to the day. This is the scene at the moment in East Sussex. The fog will tend to lift up and it'll turn a bit brighter for some of us.
Murky?
Bit murky, bit foggy this morning, but I want to start with some positive news because I like significant times.
Oh, I like this.
In terms of sunset, this is significant because you can see here, we've just approached the 6 o'clock in the evening mark for most of the UK. You have to wait a few more days in London for it to go past 6 o'clock. But yes, certainly we're getting there, aren't we, with those longer days. But as I said, it is quite misty, quite murky out there this morning. This is the scene at the moment in Kent. Some really poor visibilities on the road. So do take care if you're about to set out through this morning. And good morning. Watch out for fog this morning. There's a lot of it across England and Wales at the moment. That's the scene currently in Devon. The fog, though, will lift up. There will be some warm, sunny spells for some of us.
Simon's got one too. Morning.
Weather watchers always send us pictures of their dogs, their cats, anything outside. Yeah, look at this one this morning in Nottinghamshire. Yeah, imagine this pooch is going to get some pretty muddy paws very shortly. Yeah, misty, murky conditions for many of us actually through this morning. Watch out if you are travelling because there are some poor visibilities, particularly across England and Wales.
And some blue sky.
Cute dog pictures. Now, for me, this is cute because this...
Gorgeous.
Look at this lovely cloud here. This is called Altcumulus lenticularis.
Who?
Exactly, yeah. It's a mountain wave cloud. It looks like UFOs in the sky. And in the United States, people often mistook these for UFOs and reported them as UFOs. But yeah, that's in Scotland at the moment.
So do you think, we're talking about, we all have thousands of pictures on our phones of pets. You've got thousands of pictures of clouds?
I have, John, yes, I have, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. If it was like this, I'd have lots of pictures of this, yeah, absolutely. Stunning cloud there this morning. That was from one of our weather watchers in Moray. Yeah, some sunshine here this morning, but for most of us, when it's misty, murky and for some quite foggy out there, some poor visibilities. That's the scene at the moment in York, so do take care if you're about to set off. But that fog is going to lift up and clear away. And good morning. Visibilities are still really quite poor out there at the moment, particularly around parts of eastern and southeastern areas of England. Some poor conditions on the roads. It should tend to lift up and clear. There'll be a few showers around today, but I'll bring you the full forecast very shortly.
No trains in or out of Glasgow Central as Scotland's busiest station remains closed following a major fire nearby.
From the air, the damage is clear. This won't be a quick clean-up. An investigation into what went wrong here will now get underway. Katie Hunter, BBC News, Glasgow.
Misty behind you there, Ben.
Absolutely, Nina. Yes, a pretty quiet start to the new week, really, but a grey and a murky start for some of us. That was the scene for a weather watcher in Hampshire earlier on. But there is a little bit of brightness to be found. Some blue sky showing its hand there in Edinburgh.
Good afternoon. It was very murky this morning, wasn't it? We had a lot of mistiness and a lot of low cloud as well. You can just about make out the shard there poking into the cloud, and you can also just about make out a bit of sunshine trying to break through.
Hi Nina, I wish I could say it was raining cats and dogs out there. That would be a nice link, wouldn't it? But actually, for many places, it's a pretty quiet and mostly dry start to the week, but very murky for some. In other spots, though, that was Pembrokeshire for one of our weather watchers earlier on.
Hello again. I hope you had a lovely start to the week. Look at these little frogs. Don't get too many frog photos, so rather nice to have. What do we got tomorrow? Okay, it is going to be pretty cloudy again, but hopefully there'll be some brighter spells than some of you got today, although here in London we got a bit of sunshine. And then for Wednesday we might get a bit more in the way of sunshine. For Thursday and Friday it becomes a bit unsettled. There's some blustery conditions out there and there'll be some rain from time to time. Also briefly from Friday it gets a little bit cooler too. So Thursday and Friday, that's where we get a bit of a change. It turns a bit windier, there's some rain from time to time, some sunshine and showers on Friday, and it's also a bit cooler on Friday too. At the moment, Saturday's not looking too bad though. Little heads up there for the weekend. Right, I hope you got all of that from us all here on the space carpet. Have a super evening and I'll see you later on. Cheerio.
Hello, thank you, Rita. Real old pea super earlier on this morning for many of us, but for most of us, a little bit of sunshine through the afternoon, although for some that mist and fog just lingered on.
Good evening. Well, it's been fairly quiet for the past couple of days. There was a lot of grey around actually this morning. It was pretty misty and murky. We had some fog around and the temperatures were quite low this morning as well. So a little reminder that winter can bite back at any time. But that sun did break through the cloud and we've seen some very nice blue sky for some this afternoon as well. The winds have been fairly light today. They will be picking up later on.
And here at Great Comp Gardens in Kent, the spring flowers are well underway. But have they blossomed early this year? I'll give you all the details a little later in the programme.
Becky is at Great Comp Garden in Sevenoaks. And Becky, the blossom behind you is looking gorgeous. Spring very much sprung.
It really has, and I have to say it looks gorgeous. It smells absolutely beautiful here. If it feels to you like spring is arriving earlier and earlier every year, well, you're actually completely right. A recent study from the University of Cambridge has revealed that on average those spring flowers are appearing around a month earlier than they did in the 18th and 19th century due to rising global temperatures. And of course it is gorgeous to see these beautiful spring sights, particularly after that interminable winter that we've all really sat through with all the grey skies. It's just been so horrible. So these spring sights are fabulous. However, if you consider that nature really is just a series of very delicately balanced ecosystems, then when the starting gun goes for spring too early, that can cause some problems. Now, if you imagine that the buds start appearing and the flowers start appearing and then the insects start to feed and then the birds start to feed on the insects and then the wheels of spring start to turn. Now, of course, this early in spring, it's really normal and completely expected to have huge temperature fluctuations. So, for example, last week we saw temperatures of 19.2 degrees. That was just last Thursday. By the time you get to this Friday, they're going to be around 10 degrees colder, just 9 degrees. Overnight, they've been averaging around 5 to 8 degrees. Friday night, they could drop down to -2. And those kinds of temperatures could spell a real problem for these beautiful spring flowers. Let's have a look at the forecast. So there is likely to be a real step change happening with the weather this week. We start really with what we've seen today with quite a cloudy sort of feel. It's a very similar story on the cards for tomorrow, but from Wednesday, that's when we start to get the change in the weather. It's brighter, it's colder, it's windier, and then towards the end of the week, it is going to be wetter as well. So the main message is to make the most of any sunshine that you see over the next couple of days. Probably Wednesday is going to be best for all of us. Don't be fooled by this false spring because we do have colder, wetter conditions on the way for the end of the week, I'm afraid.
Oh, thanks for nothing, Becky. Thank you.